There is a man in history who survived the impossible, not once, but twice. The only person known to have lived through 2 nuclear detonations. His name was Tsutomu Yamaguchi. This isn't just a story about war. This is a story about being human in the middle of something the human mind was never meant to witness. On August 6, 1945, a blinding flash lit up the sky over Hiroshima. The world changed in a single second. In that moment, Yamaguchi was just a man walking to the shipyard. He was 29, an engineer, a husband, a father. He was thinking about going home. He wasn't a soldier. He wasn't a decision-maker. He was simply someone trying to live his life. Then he heard something in the sky, a low rumble, a sound he couldn't recognize. He looked up. A plane, a small object falling, and then a flash brighter than the sun, a light so powerful his eyes couldn't understand it. The blast threw him into the air. Heat tore into his skin. His hearing collapsed into silence. The world around him dissolved. When he opened his eyes, Hiroshima was a cloud of fire. Buildings gone, streets gone, voices gone. The city he knew, erased. But Yamaguchi was alive, burned, disoriented, barely able to walk, but alive. He wandered through a world of ash, people searching for water, people calling out for family members who would never answer again. He found 2 coworkers who had also survived. Together, they walked through what used to be streets, now just dust and shadows. There were no instructions, no help, no understanding, just the question: how do we leave? And somehow, after a night of fire and confusion, they found a train. The train had no windows, no lights, no certainty it would reach anywhere. But it was movement. And so they got on. Through smoke and silence, they traveled back to his hometown, Nagasaki. He just wanted to see his wife, to hold his child, to say, "I survived." When he returned, his wife stared at him in shock, his body wrapped in burns and bandages. But she held him, and he held her back. And for a moment, there was still love in the world. On the morning of August 9th, Yamaguchi went to work. Yes, he went to work. Human beings are strange. We try to restore normal life even when the world has collapsed. His coworkers asked him, "What happened in Hiroshima?" He began to explain. He described the flash, the heat, the silence. The city turned to fire. And right as he spoke, the room lit up. Another flash, another sun, another world-ending light. Nagasaki had been hit. 2 bombs, 2 mornings, 1 man. The odds of surviving 1 atomic detonation are nearly 0. The odds of surviving 2 are beyond calculation. Yet Yamaguchi lived. Again. His home was destroyed. His city burned. His world shattered once more. But his wife and child survived too, only because they had left the house at the exact moment of the blast to look for medicine for his burns. The same disaster that should have taken everything is the one that spared the people he loved. Life is strange, cruel, and sometimes impossibly merciful. Years passed. His wounds slowly healed. His hair grew back. But his mind never returned to the world as it was. He carried a ringing in his ears, scars across his skin, and memories that could not be spoken easily. He could have chosen hatred, blame, bitterness, but he didn't. Instead, he spent his life speaking against nuclear weapons. Not from books, not from theories, not from politics, but from experience. He spoke quietly, calmly, simply. He didn't want revenge. He wanted memory, understanding, humanity. He wanted the world to remember what happens when we forget that every life is a universe. Tsutomu Yamaguchi lived until 2010. He was 93 years old. He survived the worst of what humans can do to one another, and still believed in peace. He once said, "No one should ever experience what I have experienced, not as a threat, but as a warning." His life reminds us, history is not just what happened. History is what it felt like to be there. It is people. People who feel, people who lose, people who endure, and sometimes people who survive the impossible just to tell the rest of us what we must never forget. Thank you for watching. If this story moved you, please consider liking and subscribing for more stories that bring history to life.